This was the statement victory the 49ers needed. Andres from AA Sports. The 49ers on Sunday smacked the New England Patriots 30-13. This was a much needed win in convincing style. It would not have been good enough if they barely won. They needed to win big, and they were successful in that goal. The defense stepped up. Purdy was solid. Fred Warner looking like a frontrunner for Defensive Player of the Year. This was a great game for the 49ers. Final score, 30-13 49ers in Levi Stadium. Here are the 49ers performance grades. Quarterback, A-. While Brock Purdy didn't have an elite performance like last week, he was still very good in this game. Purdy threw for 288 yards and 1 touchdown. He was also very mobile, able to scramble, and rushed 5 times for 11 yards. Twice for first downs. He completed 3 deep passes, one 38-yard pass to Ayuk, and another one to Deebo Samuel Sr. for 53 yards, and a third to Jauan Jennings for 45 yards. On top of that, he also threw a great touchdown pass to George Kittle, who was in triple coverage in the end zone. Those deep throws debunked anyone who doubted Purdy on his ability to throw deep and far down the field. Granted, it was against a weak pass defense, which will lower the performance grade. Purdy also threw an interception while forcing a pass into double coverage to Brandon Ayuk. Fortunately, the interception was not costly, as the 49ers were up 27-13 when it happened, and it didn't affect the performance. It didn't affect Purdy's performance after that. It was essentially kind of like a garbage time interception. While I can't give Purdy a perfect A+ grade, his deep throws and mobility demonstrated in this game made up for the interception. So A- grade I think is pretty good. I will also give an A- performance to the running backs. Jordan Mason did have 2 fumbles. Both of them he was fortunately able to recover on his own. However, while those mistakes may have looked very big, Mason also had 24 carries for 123 yards and a touchdown. He also averaged 5.1 yards per carry and gained 160 yards from scrimmage. God damn. One of the best running backs in the NFL right now, and he is having a Pro Bowl level season. As for Kyle Juszczyk, he only had 1 catch for 12 yards. I would love to see the 49ers try to utilize Juszczyk more if they can, to add more depth with Mason while CMC rests up and recovers. I do recommend that you, as fans, look for the 49ers to potentially do that going forward, depending on CMC's return. Wide receivers, B-. They caught only 8 of 18 targets. However, each of the 3 receivers made at least 1 deep throw catch. Jauan Jennings had 3 catches for 88 yards, and Deebo had 3 for 58 yards. As for Brandon Ayuk, he had 2 catches for 48 yards. While we finally saw some sort of return in our investment of paying him $30 million a year, now with that 38-yard reception he caught, the 49ers should expect more from him going forward. As of right now, he is looking like the most expensive number 3 wide receiver. Look for the 49ers to get the receivers to step up against the Cardinals next week. But for this game, their performance was solid and good enough given their opponent, and that the 49ers were also able to get their run game going quickly. Tight ends, A. George Kittle had 45 yards on 4 receptions and a touchdown. He also blocked extremely well in the run game. The 49ers run game is much more lethal with George Kittle on the field. Offensive line, A. Giving up only 1 sack, they made way for the 49ers to have 148 yards on the ground in this game. Granted, the Patriots pass rush is awful this year, but New England's run defense has been great this year, and the 49ers still won that battle. Defensive line, A+. They absolutely dominated in shutting down the Patriots' run game as well as their pass game. They also sacked Jacoby Brissett 6 times in this game. 6 times they sacked him. This is the first time they did both this season. Last week, the defensive line struggled, leading them to have a ton to prove this week, especially without Javon Hargrave, who is now out for the season due to an arm injury. And, well, the defensive line, they did it. They proved they are still, in fact, a strong defensive line. And I think the 49ers were slightly better without Javon Hargrave in this game. His replacement in Kevin Givens had 2.5 sacks in this game and was able to pursue ball carriers sideline to sideline. Today, Givens looked like an upgrade. Nick Bosa, as we all know, my favorite player, also had a very solid game as well. He had 4 tackles, 1 assist, 1 sack, and a forced fumble that he recovered. Finally, after being close countless times in this game, he finally got the sack he was pushing for. Perfect grade for the defensive line. Linebackers, A. Fred Warner practically won the game early in the second quarter with an awesome pick 6. He is arguably the best player on the defense right now and is surely the front runner for Defensive Player of the Year. As for Campbell and Flanagan Falls, they both struggled. D. Winters looked much better than both of them when they were on the field. And the 49ers definitely miss Dre Greenlaw right now. But right now, look for D. Winters to likely get more playing time with Warner as the other 2 linebackers struggle. Secondary, B. Well, last week they struggled and arguably lost the game against Stafford's Rams. This week they completely shut down the Patriots' passing game, and with it, any of their hopes to be in this game. At the same time, this is a weak offense with a glorified backup quarterback who got sacked 6 times. So being able to shut down their passing game as easily as they did was expected. So obviously, given it was a weaker opponent and it was expected, a B grade is fair here. Special teams, C-. Jake Moody made all of his kicks. That's good. Isaac Guerrero fumbled a kickoff return and the Patriots recovered it. Yikers. While Jacob Gowing injured his shoulder while returning a punt. This is 3 games in a row now where special teams has been a problem. And the coaches know that, as they experimented in the later half of this game and had Debo and even Kyle Juszczyk on the field to receive kickoffs and punts at one point to try and improve the special teams in some sort of way. Look for the coaches to make serious adjustments to improve special teams going forward, as they clearly don't like how the special teams has done so far. Neither do I. Coaches, A. Congratulations, Nick Sorensen and assistant coach Brandon Staley saved their jobs today by shutting down New England's weak offense. If the defense performed as bad as last week, and this game was close in any way, or the 49ers, in worst case scenario, ended up losing this game because of defense, 100% everyone on the defensive coaching staff would have been fired after this game. But they weren't. Because in this game, Sorensen needed to show that he could create an effective pass rush, and he did just that. Now look to see if he will be able to stop a stronger offense. Meanwhile, Kyle Shanahan continues to try and establish some sort of identity for the offense without Christian McCaffrey. They can still move the ball down the field very well, but they do struggle a bit more in the red zone without him. Nevertheless, he was able to coordinate scoring drives for the offense. Look for Kyle to try to improve this offense as the season gets harder down the line. Overall, though, this was a great win and a positive shift in momentum for the 49ers. This was a big win for the 49ers defense, who showed they are still a great defense that is potentially still top 5 in the league. The 49ers will likely treat this as a regroup and bounce back win and will look to win again in convincing style against the Cardinals next week. Andres from AA Sports, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Who do you think was the best? Who do you think was the best player for the 49ers in this game? Who do you think was the worst player for the 49ers in this game? Do you think they will win next week against the Cardinals? Put your take in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.